Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So this is Deck Report week number 1 of season 4. This is the first week of the new Forbidden Limited list being legal. So I am doing a deck report solely based on the inception of this format and how I went moving forward. I chose to play Maliss this week. Basically, I think I'll be playing Maliss for a while now. The things you might be seeing different every week would be like different variants or different non-engine that I'll be testing with the deck. I chose to keep the list the same as it was last week, mainly due to the fact that despite the deck not changing itself, the format itself did change a little bit because now Snake Eye and Tempai Dragons and Yubel are going to be less relevant than they were last format. That's not to say that those decks are still not around, but they became significantly weaker now compared to the last format, and that kind of gives you a foothold of other contenders that you could be facing against. So I went to 2 locals this past week. Basically, they were both the same locals, but I went to 2 tournaments in the same locals in Titan Games. One was on Thursday, one was on Friday. The Thursday one, I ended undefeated, 4-0, while the Sunday one, I ended up with a 3-2 record. So it ends up being a total of a 7-2 record overall between matches this past week. My 2 losses were both on Sunday, and they were to the Toy Ryziel deck, and it was to the Fiendsmith Musketeer deck. My loss against Ryziel was mainly due to their non-engine pushes being better than mine. Like game 1, they pretty much opened the full combo of using the toy cards, and my only real interruption was Ash Blossom plus a Bystial, and that's not enough to stop that deck. They ended up with too many interruptions. I did maneuver my Bystials to play around the Ryziel cards and their toy cards efficiently, but the ceiling of those cards were just way higher than mine, and that ended up giving them game 1. Game 2, I ended on a situation where they early Fuwalos me, and I don't mind getting Fuwalos, but if you pair Fuwalos with like 2 to 3 hand traps, it just gets extremely difficult, and I was put in a very awkward position with opening both Dotscaper and the Corosol, and I could not play around the Nibiru that they summoned. I know some people like playing Link Spider in the Esther deck solely for that reason, but I still think Link Spider is incorrect. I still think if you get triple hand trapped alongside Fuwalos, you should just accept the L, just take the L. Like, if you lose, you lose. Like, there's no real way to try to play around that if it actually happens, because you're not gonna win every single game where that situation happens. Also, I did not open like the greatest of hands. I opened 2 trap cards and 2 situational extenders instead of like actual proper extenders and like other non-engine. So that was an unfortunate loss. My loss to the Musket deck was solely due to time. I did get tilted a little bit, and my apologies if my opponent is watching this video. But basically, to no disrespect, my opponent was playing in a little bit of an awkward timing, and there was a small miscommunication with our cards, and I literally had game. It was literally like 18 seconds left. I tried to explain my opponent how the interaction works. Basically, the interaction was I flipped GWC, the trap card, and I tried to attempt to a special white binder. My opponent flipped the Cold Grave as soon as resolving the trap card, and I tried to explain to him that you said okay for me to resolve my trap, and B, GWC does not target, so it doesn't really matter if they do the Cold Grave. I can still pick the same target or still pick the same monster they would banish with Cold Grave and still reborn it. So I had to explain how that worked, and with so little time on the clock, and there was no real way of me to explain that to him while actually going for game. But yeah, it was a very tilting situation. I was actually upset of that game. That game was 100% mine, but the important part is whenever something like that happens, you just need to keep level-headed and just keep playing the game and just accept that some losses are just out of our control. So yeah, no disrespect to my opponent again. At the end of the day, I still have a lot of fun in this game. I still have a lot of fun in this format. This format is a little bit awkward because right now we are in a trifecta format. Basically, Bystial Maliss and Fiendsmith variants are like the three decks that should be doing well this format. Everything else in the format has to compete with those three decks at the moment, and which makes it a little bit difficult for the opposition. But yeah, I've been rambling a little bit. This is the 7-minute mark, so I am going to straight to the deck profile. I will put timestamps in the description just so people could skip my yapping and go straight to the deck. So 3 Dormouse, 3 Rabbit, 2 Cats, 6 Bystials, 3 Cybers Extenders. And the last monster in the deck are the 3 Ash Blossoms. So I think that's 20 monsters. Spell card, triple Underground, triple Mining, triple Talents, Cold by the Grave, Sarcophagus, Terraforming. For trap cards, 07, 11, 06, triple Imperm, and triple Impulse. Extra deck: Link Decoder, Linguribo, Ligardos, IP, SP, Splash, White Binder, Red Ramson, Hearts of Cryptor, Heat Soul, Firewall Dragon, Access Code Talker, Neo Tempest, the Save Worm, and Packbit. Towards the side deck, triple Fuwalos, double Nibiru, triple Shifter, Change of Heart, Feather Duster, triple Talents, Anti-Spell, and the 3-dimensional barriers. So I guess time for explanations. The main deck is the same as last time. Like I said, I wanted to see how this main deck and side deck fares out against like the decks in the current format, and after that just make a proper assessment of whether or not I should be adjusting my deck for the current format as a whole. The one change that I did do was I put Heat Soul in the extra deck. since our main deck is playing 6 Bystials and they're playing Impulse as well as like Imperm, I kind of wanted to just have a way to keep playing the game if I get Artifact Lancet. So, like, opening any Cyber's Extender gets to this. Dotscaper is a 1 card to discard by itself as well. I still haven't summoned it yet, but I'm just glad the situation is there. I did get Lancet a few times, but none of the times that I got Lancet were like game-ending games as a whole. So that's it for Heat Soul. Would I still play Impulse in the main deck? I know a lot of people are cutting this from the main just because of Ryziel. I've only faced one Ryziel this past week, so it's very hard to gauge whether or not I keep this in the main deck. I did play a lot of mirrors, and I did play against a lot of Fiendsmith. So, on that regard, I think this card is perfectly fine in the main. So, whether or not that stays to be the case, that's up to debate. I guess I'll keep practicing with the deck as far as Impulse goes. Other cards that I thought about, like playing or cutting, I thought about Maining Shifter. I know a lot of players are Maining Shifter right now in the Malice deck. The number one reason I wasn't doing that, it was because of Signet Mining. And I figured I want the deck to be as consistent as possible. But I think I'm reaching a general conclusion to where maybe it's not that important to keep the deck consistent and make the deck more be able to be equipped to handle certain situations. Like every game where I got Fuwalos, I pretty much have lost that game, and it's not really the Fuwalos was winning the game, is the way they use their non-engine alongside the Fuwalos. So on that regard, I do have to equip myself better to them. I am going to keep Ash Blossom in the main. I am going to keep the triple talents and going to keep the cold buy just to punish those plays. But I do need another way to keep playing the game if I get hand trapped that way. So on that regard, I do have to find like other solutions. I might cut Silent Mining entirely and just play like another consistency card, maybe like Allure of Darkness. I did see myself signing out Mining every single game where I tried to play Shifter. But again, it's just that non-engine situation of consistency with our deck. So yeah, I guess we'll see. As far as other ratios go, I still think multiple cats is correct. Like the only real reason I'm not playing a third is because of space issues. I don't want the deck to be above 41 cards. However, I do think I will have to make proper adjustments to fit the third card in. I am playing 6 Bystials, so if I open Cat plus Bystial, it's pretty much full combo. So there's no issue on that regard. I still do want to try out the Lubellion package at some point as well. I am not a fan of the Sky Striker version. I don't think that version is really that good. I understand that the ceiling and the power of breaking boards against Ryziel is very imperative, but you lose to a Mirror Match, it makes your Shifter, it makes the deck is significantly weak against Dimension Shifter as well. The Fiendsmith deck can play properly around that variant as well. So I just feel like the deck's ceiling is not that high for what you're trying to do with the deck. I do understand the merit behind it, but it just doesn't jive well with me. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck report. Not a very lengthy one. Um, Again, this is pretty much the same deck as last week. I just mainly tested against like the current format and see how it fared out, and it been showing okayish results. The fact that I won one locals with it, while almost topping another one, kind of tells me that the deck is perfectly fine for the format. It's just more about adjusting to the current environment. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. Keep practicing and keep dueling.